All right, how are you guys doing? We're gonna get this motor into there. And that's gonna start part 3 of the TI build. It's already late, it's like 6 p.m. It's already dark out. I've been having issues with my quality on YouTube uploading, so I'm just gonna upload what I have in the previous with bad quality and then just keep working on it. But for now, we're just gonna get working on the TI down there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but yeah. Got the M50, S50. I already started swapping over the alternator, S50 tensioner, threw over the crank position sensor. Got the exhaust off. We're about to pull that out right now. So the exhaust is now out. Time to start rolling back the car, pull the motor out, get the drive shaft bolts out, and I think that's all that's left. All right, so we got the exhaust bolts out. We got to get the slave out still. We got the drive shaft off. We got the shifter disconnected. And all we have left to do is take out these 4 bolts and the slave, and the motor's ready to pull. I got the car pulled back a little bit, jacking it up. We're gonna get the engine crane in here and start pulling that motor out and getting that motor in there. All right, engine is out of the car. Got it on some blocks of wood, and we're gonna start taking off the trans, throwing it onto that motor. We're gonna take this car, we're gonna put it in the paint booth, and we're gonna respray the engine bay real quick. And while that's drying, we're gonna throw everything over onto the M50. So by the time we're done throwing everything over, it should be ready to drop back into the car. All right, so now I started masking everything off, and then I took a trash bag and I cut it in half. And I'm just gonna put it on the side on the fenders, so when I paint it, I don't get any overspray on my fenders. Even though it don't really matter because I'm gonna repaint the car, but I just wanna make sure, just make sure it looks pretty for now. So I'm gonna put those bags on the side. I'm gonna throw a bag on that back windshield, and then we're gonna pull this into the paint booth and paint it. All right, might be a little hard to hear me. I got the fans going, got the garage floor all wet, and I'm gonna start putting down my first coat, and hopefully it turns out good. I put a little bit over there just to make sure it looks good. So we're gonna do the rest of the car right now, and then we're gonna clear it after we put some of this blue paint on it, and it should be good to go for the motor to go in. This is after 1 coat. I'm gonna let it dry for a couple more minutes, and I'm gonna put a second coat on top of it. Now I'm just going over with some clear coat. Make sure she's nice and shiny. It's not the best job, but it'll do for now, because probably in the next couple months, once the S50 is done, I'm gonna cut these tubs out and I'm gonna do the tube front. So it don't need to be anything crazy. I think it looks good enough how it is. Just a little silver and blue action. Got some glitter in there. Engine bay is now painted. After with some clear, this is the next day. Really happy how it turned out. So, time to get this in the other garage and get the motor in here. Now that the engine bay is painted, I'm gonna take this trans off, the S50. We're gonna take that engine off the stand. We're gonna replace the mirror main, and we're gonna, we'll fix that. But yeah, we're gonna get this trans off, get the M50 on the trans, and then put it in my TI. That was loud. Hopefully we didn't break anything. But we got it out. That was nice and smooth. All right, we got the motor up on the hoist. We're gonna start taking off this back cover and replacing the remain seal in that gasket so we don't have any leaks down the road. So I'm gonna do that real quick. We're gonna put the trans on and throw the motor in the car. All right, got the new seal on here. Got our new gasket back here. And we're ready to go to put the flywheel on, get the clutch on, and get the trans on. All right, let's see if I can wrestle that trans onto there. All right, that was a little sketchy, but we got it on. The transmission's now on the motor. It's all mounted. We got the starter on there, and now we're ready to put this into the TI. So let's get the TI in here and start putting the motor in. Got the motor in the garage, got the car in the garage, we got it up on jack stands, we got a little up in the air, and now we're gonna start putting the engine in. Motor's in the car. Look at that. Looks beautiful in there. Some ricer action going on. Time to get it all assembled and get it ripping. All right, I got the trans all bolted in. We got the shifter in. Everything's all in. Time to start working on the top portion of the motor, and then we'll come back down when it's time for the exhaust. All right, harness is on the motor. We got all our connectors down here. We got the reverse and the O2 sensor. Got all our battery fuse box connections. We got the MAF over here. Got diagnostic port, ECU, got the ground. And since I'm a 318 Ti, my battery's in the front. And so I just spliced it. And eventually I'm gonna run a battery to the trunk. But so far that's what it looks like. All right, I got the idle air control in here. I got all the wires hooked up, everything plugged in except the temperature sensor on the manifold and the throttle position sensor. I got the battery box in, I got it all clipped in, everything's all good. I got the ECU in. I'm gonna start swapping over these injectors. All right, so I'm just using the grinder and I'm shaving this manifold so we have bigger holes. So I'm getting rid of all these, and then I'm gonna leave a lip on the bottom of him so the bolts don't drop through still. And we're gonna slap it on. I already got the back end epoxied, you can see that. And get this motor on here, add some oil, and crank it. All right, now that we shaved the manifold, I put some fresh gaskets on the back of it. I glued the plug right here with some epoxy. And now we're just gonna slap it on, get the throttle body on, hook up the rest of the wires, start it up and make sure it runs before we start putting the coolant system together. All right.
Are you scared?
Kind of. Prime it a couple times.
Fuel is what you're saying?
Yeah.
You're spraying up here.
Am I?
No.
Yeah, I don't think.
Doesn't crank?
Yeah, EWS. Holding good idle. Just gotta adjust it. It's mint.